Okay. Okay, so welcome to this information call. I'll hand over to Maggie in a second so she can welcome you all and give you a bit of background. But this is the call will outline this brand new rail freight group cross-member mentoring program, and just a chance for you to ask any questions, for just get a sense of what the program is, commitment, expectations, etc. And my name's Deanne. I'm supporting this program from kind of start to finish, so I'll be a point of contact throughout. So it's nice to meet you all now, and hopefully we'll see you on the program. So Maggie, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm no expert on this, Deanne is, so she'll take you through, the program and how it's going to work. I'm really excited about this. It's something new. We've never done it before. So we've literally no idea how popular or otherwise it would be, but we've been open for a week and we're into, double digits already, with I know a number of people coming on these calls this week and some more behind. And I think, a program that we hope to run each year going forward and build that. And I think from my point of view, anyone who's ever done any mentoring or been mentored themselves, or even just, gone for a cup of coffee with somebody wise and taken some career advice, can understand the value that comes in that. So, that in itself is great, but actually that cross-member perspective, I think is really important for me because, our membership is really diverse. And obviously within rail freight, we've got people who are train operators and then customers, but we've also got ports and quarries and terminals and wagon maintainers and people who build stuff. And in all of those sectors, people are united by wanting to do more with rail freight, but understanding what's important to different parts of the sector, why it matters to them, what their, opportunities and challenges are is also a key part of development and bringing the sector closer together and getting a better understanding. So I'm really positive about this scheme because I think it works on a number of different levels, and also helps, people who are, or whatever stage in their career, but, particularly those who are new to in rail freight, to learn more about the sector as well as helping with their own personal development. So what I would say to you today on the call is thank you for joining. Thank you. That's great. If this is something for you, brilliant. Deanne will tell you how to sign up and how to do that. If you think there are some other people in your business, we're not capping the numbers, so please do give them a push. And it's a low level of time commitment for them. If they're interested, it would be something that's good. As Deanne said, this session will go on our website, so if people have missed the info session, they can pick back up on it later. And, it doesn't have to be in your own business. If you know people in other parts of the industry as well, as long as they work for an RFG member, they can join this program. So please do spread the word. But that was it, really. Thank you. And Deanne, over to you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Maggie. That's brilliant. Yeah, fab. And I will presume that some of you have got some experience of this already. So has anyone kind of been a mentor, been a mentee, had some experience of this in the past?
I've been a mentor for the CILT, Deanne, and that's been a very positive thing, although actually, frankly, there isn't very much demand for it. Mm-hmm. And actually, one of the very good things that the CILT do is that they give you a little bit of guidance around approaching the sessions. They've got a little structured process. And one of the questions I have as we develop down this is whether you're going to provide any process or guidance to us as mentees. But actually, I have been a mentee. I am a mentee from CILT.
Yeah, I can answer that question immediately. As part of the program, we'd like everyone to attend an initial 1-hour training session, which really is just to make sure everybody's on the same page and understands what the process is, but also a little bit around what resources are available. And there is also a resource bank as well. So for mentors and mentees, there's a handbook which gives you some insight around actually how do we run that first session, what kinds of questions can we ask, and also what kind of thinking do I perhaps need to do before I go into the session, both as a mentee and as a mentor. So thinking about my career and highlights and lowlights and ups and downs. There are a number of tools that we will provide you with that will allow you to have a think about what you want from the sessions, and hopefully just support those conversations and give you a little bit of structure, but it's not too directive.
That sounds perfect. Thank you.
Welcome. So anyone else?
And likewise, Deanne, I've had the privilege of being a mentee and a mentor throughout my career. So very much like Ralph, but mostly through the engineering, getting engineers through as professional registration and that formal process. So I've also had a fair bit of training, but that's not to say that engineering mentoring is the same as anything else. So.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Thanks, Tim, for sharing. And what the training is not absolutely start from scratch. You've never heard of mentoring. It's about what do you want to bring as a mentor or a mentee in this particular program, and what might you need to think about and consider, etc. So that's really why we have that support. Research shows that in mentoring programs, having a little bit of structure can be really helpful. If there's none, that's often when there's it doesn't work as well. But if there's a little bit of structure, it just allows the relationships to flourish, like I say, without it being too directive. Mentoring is a very organic development process typically. Great. Anyone else want to share anything before I carry on with a bit of info?
Dan, will you be sending guidance around I think it's important to manage expectations on both sides of the mentoring relationship, and we'll be sending guidance about frequency of meetings and stuff like that out?
Yeah, exactly. I'll outline some of that in this call actually, and yeah, that's part of the training and the support resources that you'll have access to as well.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you see my screen okay? Just double checking before I crack on. Yeah, perfect. Okie dokie. So a little bit around what we're doing. Why has Maggie asked me to support with this? Why are RFG looking at this? So it is about people being able to connect across industries, gain more from membership. This is a free development opportunity, and about supporting and developing the careers of those in rail freight. I think what's really important is you don't necessarily need any experience of mentoring or of being a mentee. That's partly what the training is for. If you have got that experience, great, but this is about an opportunity to develop your knowledge, skills, understanding of a variety of areas, including rail freight. So a few of the goals is around promoting, supporting collaborative working. It's about sharing knowledge, expertise, insight, and experience. And that is the critical point of mentoring. You're partnering up with somebody who will be able to give you some insight into the sector, into their career, into their leadership style, into the way that they work with different people. And there always is so much to take from those kind of relationships. And then also to provide that understanding of rail freight. So wherever you are in your career, whatever your current role is, actually, how do you expand your knowledge of that? So we define mentoring as this, so development that involves people connecting to share knowledge, experience, advice, and support. And in the training session, if you join the programme, we'll take you much more into what that knowledge, experience, advice and support is, what the skills are, etc. But it is just as simple as that. It's about two people connecting in this instance and sharing information, sharing knowledge, having conversations. So like I say, there is a little bit of guidance on some pointers around this is the kind of stuff you might talk about. But fundamentally, we would expect a mentee and a mentor to chat together, understand what it is that they want to work towards, and the conversations would be very fluid and organic, and month by month. The topics might change dependent on where you're at and what you're looking for. There are tons of benefits. So if I just kind of focus in on a few, let's start with some for the mentee. So increases perspective and knowledge of different parts of the rail freight industry. It's about self-esteem and confidence. Often with mentoring, it's not as a hard measure as let's improve some KPIs. It's often, okay, so now my knowledge is improved, therefore my confidence is improved. or I've spent time with such a great mentor that they've really built my confidence up in preparing for particular meetings or presentations. So there can be so many benefits of mentoring. And those of you that have experienced it, I'm sure some of those will probably resonate. If I go over to the mentor list, and you can have a look at this, these slides on the RFG website, I'll put a link to that after the session. Lots around sharing expertise, somebody challenging your assumptions and ideas, and expanding your professional network as well. So, you know, tons of benefits that often people don't always think the mentor will get. You know, often the mentor's giving back, wants to support people, but actually they get a lot of development themselves and a lot of challenge and an opportunity to see things differently. So that's a bit around the benefits. And then these are the things that we're saying are the core skills of a mentor. So if those of you that are looking to be a mentor are looking at that going, am I great at all of those? Like that's the point of this. This is about developing yourself as a mentor as well. So it's a great one to actually have a look at those skills and think, where am I in each of those? Like which of those are my strengths and which ones can I really support a mentee with? And maybe which ones can I use this as an opportunity to develop? And then similarly, this is more for mentees. Why might you want a mentor? So of course, it might be about learning about the rail freight industry, but there might be some other elements such as developing your leadership skills, developing a wider network, self-awareness, learning from people. There might be a whole host of things that you're potentially looking for from this cross-member mentoring program. There may well be mentoring programs within your organization, but the beauty of this one is that you're going across sectors. You've got such an opportunity to connect with different people that you might not come across normally. So I think that's where this program feels like it has a huge opportunity to help people's development. Just stop me at any point if you've got any questions, if there's anything that you want to know. Okay, so how does it work? So you'll be matched with someone based on your experience and needs. And I'll talk a little bit about that process in a second. We encourage the relationships to run for 12 months. So that's why we'll be kicking off all of the relationships by the middle of next month. And then you'll meet every 4 to 6 weeks, but that is to be agreed by yourselves. You know, sometimes you might say, yeah, I can do it in 4 weeks' time. Actually, the next one after that, it might need to be 6 weeks' time because our diaries are busy. The most important thing is that it works around mentor and mentee schedules and you agree that yourselves. Best practice in this is to get several in the diary at once, so you've got some in and you're not just doing them month by month. We know what diaries are like. As the year goes on, it can get a bit crazy. You'll be provided with that initial training and resources, as I've mentioned, handbooks. There'll be additional coaching questions, additional resources as the program develops as well. Then there'll be check-in surveys which will be sent out to you periodically. These will always be confidential. It's just a chance for you to tell us what's working, what isn't, what are the key themes that are coming up for you, what are you getting out of it, and is it meeting your needs? So it's a really good chance for us to understand the impact of the program and how it's going for you. And you'll always have me as your point of contact, and obviously Maggie at RFG, or if there's anybody else, Maggie, I'm not sure if there'll be anybody else as a point of contact, but probably the two of us, I would imagine. And that at that point of contact is also really important, that if you know you're a couple of months in and you think, is this working? Am I getting the right support? Is this the right match? Come and have a conversation. You know, what we wouldn't want is for two people to be matched for a year and you're kind of slogging through those meetings for a year. In my experience of working in learning and development for over 12 years, I've had 1 or 2 people that have matched in all that time in mentoring programs where it hasn't worked. Most of the time it's absolutely brilliant. So just in case you have that feeling of what if I don't connect with my mentor or mentee, that's okay too. We're happy to work with you on that one. Okay, so when you apply to be a mentor or a mentee, there's a form. Some of you might have filled this in already. I've not kind of cross-checked the names, but there's a form to fill out which allows you to talk about what it is you're looking for, what it is that you can offer. And there's a few lists of, well, what skills are my strengths that I can offer and what are the skills that I'm looking to develop. And all of that information and data is collated for both mentees and mentors. And then I will use that to do a matching process and find you somebody that you can work with. We've not asked for geography in the questions, but if that is important and you actually want, you just prefer to do face-to-face, just pop that in the notes section. There's plenty of free text boxes where you can ask for that. We would assume that lots of it could take place virtually. But actually with mentoring, you could do whatever you want in those meetings. So yeah, it could be a Zoom meeting like this once a month, but it could be if it works and one of you can travel, you could go on a site visit together, or you could invite your mentee to a meeting, whatever that looks and feels like, a conference. So it doesn't have to be, like I say, just a Zoom conversation. If there's other benefits that you can get from meeting, then please do that. It's your relationship to do whatever you feel. Okay, so once you've decided what it is you're looking for, and attend the mentor or mentee training. So there's 3 different options of training sessions in February for both mentors and mentees. So hopefully you can attend one of those if you decide to join. And then you would match as soon as there's a suitable person. So we're looking to get all the matching done by the middle of February, which is really exciting. So that's not long. So we can get this kicked off. And then once you commence your meetings, it's about taking the time for you to reflect after each one, completing the quarterly surveys, but it's very hands-off from our perspective. Once the relationship has started, it is just that periodic check-in, reminder of where the tools are, and then how you reflect or how you think about the sessions is completely your call. You'll have a whole host of tools and you can choose whichever ones you want to utilise. And then you carry on that for a year. And like I said, I'll be your point of contact, and there will be other bits that we can support you with and pop into a Google Drive that you can have a look through as you go on. And we'll take that feedback from the surveys too. So if there is anything that you particularly need or you think would be useful, then we're happy to design that for you as well. So we want this to be a great learning experience for us in terms of the programme, and so that you get the most benefits from it. So that's the whistle-stop tour of what the mentoring programme is. Just open up for any questions, if that's okay. I stunned you all into a mentoring silence.
Hi, Deanne, it's Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
I just want to say thanks for the opportunity of doing this. I've never been a mentee or a mentor, so it'd be a really good opportunity for me, and especially with me new in the rail industry as well. So just thanks from me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And I think that's a good point, actually, Debbie, like saying you've not necessarily been either, and that's absolutely fine. But if any of you want to be both, that's also okay. If you've got the time and the capacity, you might have something to offer and you might also want to develop something. So have a think about that, if that is something that you could have capacity for.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe I could just share this, which is quite interesting. Sure. I can't do it, but actually, there's a leader comment in today's Times. Well, not leader, opinion column from Finkelstein talking about the value of human connections, and actually, it's right in this space. Apparently, there's a 50 or 60-year-old Harvard study that's been going on talking about what really makes people happy and worthwhile, and actually supporting people and helping people is a large part of that. And certainly, I think that's my motivation. Just actually to stop sitting at my desk writing stuff and actually to go out and try and help people and learn more myself is, I think, very important.
Yeah, thanks, Ralph. I think that's really key. Yeah, you can't underestimate that power of connection, can you? And the relationships that come from, I mean, I can talk about my experiences. There's 2 people that have mentored me through my career, and I'm still in such close contact with them. They're still such an important part of the decisions that I make, and, you know, bouncing ideas off them still, even though it's on a much more informal basis. You can't underestimate the impact that you can have on someone's kind of life and career. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and there's probably one other thought that I've had, and it's probably complete common sense, but obviously we work in a commercial environment, and so matching mentors and mentees within a commercial environment, we need to be sensitive to it, and sensitive of the boundaries. I guess that in the briefing packs you're going to address that and deal with how that gets addressed. And like I said, it's common sense, but some guidance around that might be helpful.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Tim, and that is definitely something we've considered. There is a mentoring contract that we'll ask you both to sign as part of that first session, which talks about commercial sensitivity. If there are any, and I'll work with Maggie on this, but if there are any particular conflicts of interest, then we just won't match people from those 2 organisations, and I'll take Maggie's lead or the board's lead on that. But yeah, we will ask you to sign a confidentiality contract, and then it's up to you how much you choose to share about that. But we'd encourage you not to share anything that's too commercially sensitive.
So RFG has a guidance for members on competition law compliance. It's, you know, it's what all our forums, events and agendas run under, and you know, that will be the base of what we'd put in here. And, you know, that's, as you say, Tim, it would stop members talking at any of our events about anything that potentially breach competition law, and it sets out what you should do if you think that somebody is. So that's no different to this programme for us.
And thanks, Maggie. And look, again, I've seen it work in other environments where you know potentially that conflict exists, but mentor and mentee works it out between them and works out how to not tread over those boundaries, and it can be fine. It's just how that's approached and how it's made clear for people, I guess, in that one-to-one relationship.
Yeah. I'll make sure that that's a key part of the training when I start those sessions next week, just to make sure that we've covered that. So I think you're right. Other people will ask that question if you are. So thank you.
No problem. Thanks.
Anything, James, Rob, anything from you both? No pressure if you've got no questions.
Nothing from me. No, Deanne, thank you. Just looking forward to getting involved in the programme, and you know, I think you've outlined some great opportunities there in terms of networking, in terms of understanding the industry in more depth. I think myself, I haven't been involved in a mentee or a mentorship capacity thus far in my career, but yeah, I think this is, as I said, a great opportunity.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, nothing from my side. I think it's an exciting thing to be involved. Yeah, I've not been a mentor or mentee, so yeah, I look forward to joining the programme.
Yeah, brilliant. Fab. Thanks so much. So in terms of joining the programme then, hopefully you've all got access to the mentee or mentor links because you've joined this call, so that's a good sign that you've had access to some information. But if you do need the links again, in terms of the application form for being a mentor or a mentee, the best place to go is directly to the RFG website, and click on the mentoring programme article, and all of the information is in there with the links and all of the documents. The document that I've shared with you on this call is in there too, and there's also a quick guide for mentees and mentors, so everything's there. So I'd recommend that. But you should also have hopefully an email or through your organisation as well, so there'll be a couple of ways that you can access that.
If you go to our website and go to the news section, you'll find it all there. If you can't find it, just give me a shout and I'll send you the link. That's really easy. And, you know, I've had quite a lot of people already saying a really great idea, I'll sign up, and they haven't yet signed up. So it's just taking that final step and clicking the link would be great, if you haven't done that already. And I've got a note of some people who I'll be chasing this week just to get them to do that if they feel able to do so. So if there are other people in your organisations who, you know, you're talking to on the back of this call, you know, that and they want to sign up as well, they'd be, you know, very welcome to do so. And if they've missed the info calls, we'll get them up online this week. But equally, you know, if they want to give Deanne or myself an email or a call, then, you know, that's also fine too.
Yeah, absolutely. And no problem if people do miss these. We can, like I say, catch up one-to-one, or they can just join straight onto the training. So that's not an issue. I've just shared the link in the chat in this meeting, which is directly to the RFG page with the mentoring information on, so you can click through that if you want to. Okay, thanks so much everyone for your time, and please do reach out if you've got any questions, and look forward to seeing you on the training, fingers crossed. Thanks very much everyone.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Dean.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Well done.
Thanks,
Deanne.
everyone.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
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 I'll stop you.